Roll call, please.
Yes. Mr. Shi.
Here.
Mr. Vishal Patel.
Here.
Ms. Peng.
Here.
Ms. White.
Here.
Mr. Romano.
Here.
Ms. Patel.
Here.
Mr. Lugo. Mr. Ronak Patel.
Here.
Mr. Erico.
Yeah, here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Opening statement?
Yes. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Public Law C, 1975 C 231 Sunshine Law, the Edison Township Board of Education has has published notice of this meeting, having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Board of Education Administrative Office. Copies of this notice were sent to the Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger.
Thank you.
Yes.
Audit presentation. Dr. Alvarelli.
Yeah, so the, our audit presentation is going to be done by HFA. Is that the?
Yep, so
Yep.
correct.
That's going to be presented at our action meeting. They will be talking about state of the budget findings. Mr.
Sure,
Phil?
they're gonna speak to our fund balance at the end of June 30th, 2024. They're also gonna speak to our findings and corrective action plan. We do have one finding, which is actually a good finding. We have too much money in our enterprise fund. That's from our food services operations. You're not supposed to have more than 3 months' worth of expenditures in that fund. We will use those funds. Obviously, we're going to invest back into the program on more capital equipment and upgrades to the cafeteria seating. But that's the only finding we have. So all in all, we have an unmodified opinion, highest level of attestation one can receive. So it's something to be very proud of as a board and as a district.
All right. Thank you. Strategic plan update.
Yeah, our second presentation for our action meeting is going to be our pillar of programs, pathways, and proficiency. That is going to be done by both of our co-chairs, our Chief Academic Officer for Elementary, Ms. Beninda Goomer, as well as Nicole Halpin, supervisor here in Edison Township, to talk all about the fantastic programs and access that we're going to be providing students from K to 12. So keeping the momentum going.
All right, thank you. So, board president comments. I have a lot to say, but I'll keep it on Tuesday. There are a lot of good things that's happening. It's all good. So I'll say it out Tuesday, and I hope we can wrap up this open session in a record time.
Great.
Superintendent's report.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Board President Shi. So if the board, obviously you've had the opportunity to look at the agenda right now. We'll go over a couple of the highlighted items under administration. We have a resolution for Youth Art Month, which is for March. Time to celebrate creativity, the talents of our students. I don't have to tell this body here or members of the audience, our district takes immense pride in our arts programs, the access that students have, as well as the success they receive on both ends of town. That would not be done without a supportive board, as well as talented students and a fabulous staff. So looking forward to celebrating Youth Art Month in March. Also on the agenda are a list of policies. Strauss Esme, which is our program that we utilize for policy updates, in concert with our attorneys as well as our board committee. We've had Alert 234, which talked about the memorandum of agreement. There were a bunch of mandatory policies related there to our operations between law enforcement officials, as well as revisions to state laws with HIB. Our general policies also we talked about that are listed right there today. They range from food service to use of cellular phones, some of which are mandatory, other which are policies that we revise for existing ones. We also had one that was tabled from the last meeting also, just to, for a clerical component, which we've addressed as well. Also under administration, we will be approving the HIB report from January. We are proud of the field trips that we offer to our students for the many different things that they that they attend, right, from after-school activities for the programs. Extremely excited about that, that the board provides not only the funding for that, but also supports the extracurricular components also, and our staff too, that that go above and beyond just to make sure that they have chaperones for those trips too. So greatly appreciate it. We have our professional development also, which we are committed to making sure that our teachers and administrators are getting the best, very best training. Exciting, we have a bunch of new courses that we're approving, AP courses as well as honors, expanded opportunities for our students that they talked about during the last curriculum committee meeting, and we'll expand upon that during the minutes of the next action meeting. And for our pupil services, we have our out-of-district students as well as educational placements based on McKinney-Vento. Just a couple additional pieces that I know are usually highlights for this time of month. We do anticipate approving a school calendar relatively soon. We have the opportunity to review it not only in-house, but we've gotten suggestions from staff as well too. Board members are currently reviewing it also, so hopefully we'll be able to maybe put that on for Tuesday's agenda. Still a little bit of a work in progress, just working out a couple things, but I'm confident we can get it there. There was a change to the Board of Education meeting as well too. We were planning on opening up J.P. Stevens with a bang in March, and unfortunately we were unable to do that. J.P. is a little bit delayed. So we thought that we would move that meeting to the May meeting, which is probably one of our biggest attended meetings. May and June, right? We have staff recognition in May, student recognition in June. So what better way to open up both of those programs with a brand new auditorium over at J.P. Stevens. We're also going to post some slides of our current expansion projects coming up. So if you arrive early to the board meeting next Tuesday, they'll be posted up on the screen. And last but not least, listen, February and January, if you've been here the entire time in New Jersey, it's been cold. It's been extremely cold. It's 26 degrees this week. Last week was freezing cold too. March 20th is the first day of spring, which we are hopefully, comes sooner than later, and we start to see some of the warm weather. We have had a few heating issues in some of our schools. That's what happens sometimes with, equipment that has been in the building since 1954, in certain cases. But, our staff has done a really good job as the minute that it's brought to our attention. Our buildings and grounds director and assistant are right on top of it. We get our in-house people in as well as the vendors. We work on it as fast as we possibly can. The last thing we want is to provide a freezing cold environment to students. Building principals have done a great job of relocating those classrooms that were affected to the spaces that have heat. So I want to commend them, and I also want to thank the staff for being really flexible with that too, and the students also. So it looks like it's going to be 42 degrees this weekend, and hopefully that's a sign of things to come.
Sunscreen.
Yeah, and sunscreen. Exactly. And that concludes my report, Mr. Shea.
Thank you. Agenda items reviewed.
Yep.
You
Done.
and John.
Financial stuff?
Oh, yes.
Okay, great, my portion. Item 1 is your standard financial reports. However, on that will be the comprehensive financial report. Like I said, unmodified opinion, one comment, which is a really good one. Having too much money is a great thing. I'd like to take this time to thank my staff, Ms. Becci, Ms. Raymond, Ms. Mendez, Ms. Kellerman, Mr. Garland. They were instrumental all year and, going through the audit process, streamlining things, and overhauling the business office with myself and the rest of the business office staff, including payroll, everyone involved. It really has been a really big team job. So I'd like to thank them all for their hard work. We have some contract awards coming up. We're going to be awarding a contract for MAGA Math, a software license, Apple computer iPads, I think is that grade 1? The entire grade 1 is going to be getting an iPad, so they could probably teach me how to use it because I probably don't know how to use it that well. But all in all, not too many contracts. Procurement, we're going to be, we were out to bid for Marshall for the addition and renovation. We're going to have to reject, unfortunately, the bids at this time. We received some correspondence from the NJ Department of Environmental Protection. They want us to redesign some of the wastewater management system. I think it was originally designed to be an underground system with piping and all sorts of, things like that. And now it's going to be, they want it above ground. So we're going to have that redesigned, and we'll get it out to bid as soon as possible. But we do have two other bids that we're going to be awarding. One is for switchgear at Edison High School. So I think the original gear is what's powering the building. So we're going to have all new switchgear there. And also the other one is for the interior renovations and secure vestibule, phase 1 of Edison High School. So two new projects that'll be awarded, both under budget, which is great news. We have a minor change order at JP for some additional testing. That's going to be charged to the allowance, so no additional cost. And we're going to be receiving a STEM grant for $12,500. And that's it for this time. No transportation contracts. Yet.
Thank you, Mr. Toth. All right, so, going along the agenda, so seeing it's cold outside, I like to switch the order for the comments. So I'm going to open up for public comments. So anyone public wants to speak? Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Anthony Mara, 5 Coletto Court in Edison. I've been coming before the board now for roughly a year, speaking on policy 5756 almost exclusively. And I have brought God into my conversation almost every time. Why? Because he is the central focus. You can't thumb your nose in God's face time and time again and expect him to ignore it. A year coming before this board and no action. You took a swing at it back in September and October. Unfortunately, it didn't come to fruition. There were 3 board members who had the courage to do the right thing and vote to abolish it, but that didn't work because we didn't have all the votes. God says, have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female? And for this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh, with no longer two but one. 2 genders, not male, female, and a host of others. 2. I've spoken of the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Is there a person in this room, is there a person anywhere in this state who wants to be kept in the dark? Their children are contemplating changing gender. The whole idea of it is ludicrous. And you're not told, because this policy says don't tell you. You're a mom and a dad, and you're not told? Come on. And this is your decision. You've asked, you want this. You want to keep the parents in Edison in the dark. Do you want to be kept in the dark? That's hypocrisy if you don't. I've spoken of the 5th commandment, honor your mom and dad. I suspect there are mothers and fathers on this board. Do you feel honored by being kept in the dark? I think not. Every person has a spiritual heart. I'm not talking about the organ that pumps blood. There's a spiritual counterpart. You can't see it. You can't constantly ignore truth and expect it to remain static. It's going to harden. You either go toward the truth or you walk away from it. Time and time again. Now, our God is a forgiving God. He's a merciful God. But you can't thumb your nose in his face time and time again and expect nothing to happen. The truth will come to light one day. It's going to happen. It's happening in other towns. Recently, Marlboro, Middletown, and I think one of the other M towns down there abolished 5756. And it's happening in other towns in New Jersey. You either be part of it or you're not part of it. If you're not part of it, it's going to happen. Be part of it. Stand up for the children in this town. do the right thing. And of course, 5756 says that boys can compete with girls. How ridiculous. How absurd. In my day, that would have been a joke. Now, it has to be, it has to be shown to be wrong. And the restrooms, you want your mom in a restroom where there's a guy in there pretending to be a girl? 5756 is not mandatory. So some may say, well, if we abolish it, what do we replace it with? A common sense policy. A policy that says, let's tell our children, those who are contemplating changing gender, of the risks involved. You're going to have surgery, or you're going to take drugs. They have permanent consequences. You have surgeries, you cut off a body part, it's not growing back. You think they're not going to regret that later? I'm 68. Oh, I can't remember. I'm 68 or 69 years old. I'm 68. I've made decisions I've regretted. I wonder if there's anyone who hasn't. They're children. You think they're not going to regret something like that? You wonder why the suicide rate amongst transgenders is so high? It's claimed that it's because it's prejudice. That's nonsense. We have a fundamentally ingrained gender. And recently, the Department of Housing, Health and Human Services in the federal government has issued a statement. There are basically only two genders, they say. Yes, it's following President Trump's declarations. Those are common sense declarations. Abolish 5756. Bless the students of our town. Send a message that says, Edison knows that there are only two genders. We don't want our children harming themselves. We don't accept this as correct policy. We don't want to teach that gender can be changed, only later for the children to resent it. We're the educators. We're the grown-ups. We're supposed to show the children, yeah, this is right and this is wrong. Please abolish 5756 and do not keep ignoring it. Do it now. Please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? See none, can I have a motion to end public comments?
Motion.
So who's first?
Second.
You said.
Tie goes to the runner.
Okay, hey, look. Joe wins.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, okay. All right, so now we're gonna go to board member comments. Any board members? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Shi. I just wanted to thank the Chinese school at Edison High School for inviting us over there to celebrate. It was an amazing ceremony with the young kids and the adults. They put on a great show every year. That's probably my 5th or 6th time to have gone there. Also, we attended last night I don't know what it was called. It was way over my head, though. Some technical, Green New Deal stuff, and the kids were unbelievably bright. They lost me after they said, like Dr. Arlelli said, when they said pollution, after the next 10 words were too big for me. But they did a great job.
You're a teacher.
Yeah. I'm not a science teacher.
I'm glad.
Yeah, really. And then today we went to the volleyball tournament up at J.P. Stevens, where the ETA raises funds for, local charities and things like that. So, I try to get to as many events as I can, and I enjoy every one of them. Thank you, Mr. Shi.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yeah, Gina.
I also went to I read it, because the mid-grant technical review, and they gave us a survey to feedback. They were incredible. There were only 9 of them. And if you had seen them, you would have been nothing but proud. I mean, they were just so, and it's true. After you got through the first few words, then you were out in a different realm. They should all be in some think tank somewhere, because that's how good they were. They were just so great. And their goal is to, save the Raritan River. And they're creating all these different things to take care of the pollution. And if you would, anybody that's lived here forever, you know how bad the Raritan it was, and still is. My father used to say, "Don't ever eat a fish or a crab from that river ever," and that's just how polluted it was from Kimbuck and from, the arsenal and all that runoff and stuff. It really was abused, and they are trying to clean it up. But these kids, and I hope they do the magic that you need to do to get that done. So, we have to support them because it was an honor to sit there and listen to them. I was so proud to be part of that. And that's it for me.
Okay. Anybody else?
Mr. Shi,
Yes, this side.
I too was amazed at our students. They took up on a project. I mean, Raritan River has been questionable for years. Myself, I'm a resident of 55 years, and I wouldn't go near it. We have a boat dock, okay, and we have people launching boats alongside of Kimbuck. Now, anybody know what Kimbuck is? Well, Kimbuck, you can't walk on it. That's how bad it is. And at certain times, it glows. You're right, Andy, it does glow. But we've managed to cap that, the EPA. We had 3 sites in Edison that were Superfund sites, and we're working on those. These kids, no, young students, young adults, they're working to take a tiny step on cleaning up the river. I think it might be taped. I'm not sure. And if you get a chance to look at it and listen to the students, be proud. Our students are doing the job. Now, we need more, and I want to help them. So I'm just going to ask everybody, if you can, I think it's going to be on the board, something on the board, on our website. Take a look at it, and then go, our students are doing the right thing. Our parents and our teachers are doing the right thing. Just step up and help them. That's all I have to say. Thank you for everything. They did a great job.
Ms. Shi? So I want to talk about 2 things. One is appreciation and second is call for action. So I want to appreciate Miss Valentine. She started a program using the wind period. It's called, I think, Symposium, Huddle Up Symposium, where they partner the students with the teacher to come up with the passion projects. And then I attended the events where the kids were pitching the passion projects to other residents from the town. And I was amazed, 7th grader, 8th grader coming up with the passion projects. Some of them wanted to create a website. Some of them wanted to sell certain products that they are passionate about. I want to give kudos to principal to come up with the idea, and I want to call for action for all the other middle school principals to come up with similar programs. So, Mr. Rick Cohen, if you can communicate to them and see if they can offer similar programs or other programs like that in middle school.
Just real quick, this is a program that,
So everyone can hear.
yeah, so the good news is this is a program that I launched in partnership with Big Picture Learning. We initiated it as a way in which to reach students that needed a little bit of extra support and feeling part of a community and building relationships with staff. We piloted it at Woodrow Wilson and at JAMS, and the success has been great. We've been doing a lot of assessment, hearing from the kids what they benefit from it, as well as looking at, are we seeing improvements in attendance and grades, and we are. And so I'm meeting with Brian McGrath and Antoinette Emden on Wednesday to talk about bringing it to their schools, and we'd like to have it at all 4 middle schools next year.
Perfect. You are ahead of me. Thank you.
All right. So I just have a couple of quick things. Yesterday was the 100th day of the school. So we're more than half over. We're on the home stretch. I hope we'll have a very successful school year. The other thing is the Community Relations Committee, we sent out an email to all the parents, asked them to join to the Parent Advisory Committee. And within 2 days, we received over 150-something registrations. So that will make our work a little bit harder to, to pick the 50 parents. So this is the first step. This is the first meeting, and we'll have more meetings. This is more of a general meeting, and based on the topics that's coming up, we discuss, we might, tailor into different groups, elementary, middle, or high school, because they have different issues. But this is the first step, and we want to hear from the students, is the SAGES program, and we also want to hear from the parents. That's the Parent Advisory Committee. So just stay tuned. We have a lot of good things that's coming, and these parents will be notified. The meeting will be on the 27th, 7 o'clock. That's 7 o'clock here in the S Center. So hope that we'll see a lot of collaboration, a lot of energy in the room when we all had the 54 kids here for the SAGES program. All right. So with that said, if we don't have any other board member comments, we're going to adjourn to the privilege session. In accordance with the NJSA Section 10.4-12, the Edison Township Board of Education adjourns to confidential session for the purpose of discussing the following: confidential personnel and board matters, pending litigation, student matters, legal matters, HIP appeal. Can I have a motion to adjourn to the privilege session?
Motion to appeal.
Mr. Barrico. All right. Do I need a roll call on this?
You can do a voice vote if you
Yeah,
like.
can I
Voice
have all
Voice
in
vote.
favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any nays? Okay. We don't expect to come back to have any other actions, so see you guys on Tuesday in the new, beautiful Herbert Hoover Auditorium. Jim, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Auditorium's next.
Okay.